Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Let's welcome today's speaker, Chuck C.
Hi, everybody. Chuck Alcoholic. Glad I'm here. What a day. Thank you, Lydia, for asking me. And it's good to be here amongst you. I got to start off with a great excuse and a disclaimer, a couple of disclaimers. I went out last night, normal night, went and had dinner with a girl, and but I knew I had to come speak this morning, so I said, I better get home, get some rest. So I got home about, midnight, and got to bed about 12:30. I figured, wake up at 8. I live in the valley, so it takes a while to drive over here. So, and then I had one of those nights that the sheets didn't feel right. It was somebody called it sheet karate all night, just kind of doing that, and it went on all night. And the last time I looked at the clock, it was 7:25 this morning. I hadn't been asleep yet, so I said, you know what, I might as well just get up now because I got the alarm set for 8. And then the alarm went off because I fell asleep at 7:25 in the morning. So I'm kind of in this dream state, and it's so nice and cool in here that it's making it easy to stay awake. Thankfully, it's a really fun meeting, and there were 16 birthdays, which was awesome, which was incredible, and congratulations to everybody that had a birthday. There was people here from Australia to all the way to South Orange County. There was a lot of space covered in the visitors, and a ton of people stood up as newcomers under 30 days, and that makes me excited. And I know that you're not excited, and you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. This is horrible what happened to you. You found yourself in Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh my God. What did you do wrong? There were like 3 people going, I know. Well, all of us were in your chair at one point or another. All of us, everybody in here was in your chair, except for maybe Mom and Dad. Maybe Mom and Dad were not in here. Oh, Dad was? Mom was? Just the son. Okay. Good for them. But all of us have been in that chair, and so we know what it is. And I'm very impressed. And what was the most years? 30 years? 34 years? And that's a lot of years. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at 34 years because I know Alcoholics Anonymous works. What I'm surprised at is 30 days. That blows me away. 30 days is, how did you do that? Still, after all this time, because I know what it's like to get in here, because and I'll kind of start off with a analogy. I love this analogy, and it's about starting off in AA, but out in the country, they get their water from a well, and you have to pump this well to get the water to come all the way up from the way under the ground off this pipe up to the well, and you have to sit there and pump and pump and pump and pump and pump, and nothing comes out. Nothing but dust. And you work real hard, and you get tired, and you're sweaty, and your arm starts to hurt, and everything is nothing. You're getting 0 results. But eventually, if you keep it up, eventually water starts to come out. And when water starts to come out, then all you need is a little slow, steady, easy pressure. You get all the water you need. And that's kind of what starting off in AA is like. And I feel sorry for newcomers in their first 90 days because they're seeing everybody walking around spitting water and throwing water around and, throwing water away and all, and they're like, where's my water? Your water's coming. It's coming. Just keep on keep on pumping. We wouldn't still be here. Someone wouldn't celebrate 34 years if this thing didn't work. And I got really bad news for you. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to Alcoholics Anonymous by accident. Sorry. My other disclaimer is there, and I respect the people. I respect the people that want AA to stay true to AA and pure to AA and alcohol, Alcoholics Anonymous, alcohol. But there are drugs in my story. So, but you know, the good news for me is most of those people that are really serious about that are dead. So, you know, that's wrong. I'm sure there's some of them. All right. Anyway, it would be unfair for me to skip the drug part because it wouldn't make any sense of how much I drank. And the drug I'm talking about is cocaine. To me, cocaine is just like the carpool lane to AA. It just gets you here a lot faster. That's all. It's the same thing. And I did cocaine. I started off doing, you know, social cocaine. You know, no, really seriously, the little vial, you know, $100. You know, just $100. You know, you go out. Hey, who knows where we can get one of those? Oh, it'd be fun. Go to the ATM, get one of those, and you're a big deal with a little gram of coke. And then one day, somebody told me that if you buy 3 of them, you get another half for free. And I'm like, shut up! Really? And I'm no dummy, you know. I just extrapolated that all the way out, and I'll tell you the end in a second. I'll just say that that cocaine is like an alcoholics dream drug. It's a marriage made in hell. It's fantastic. It's the more coke you do, the more you can drink. The more you drink, the more coke you can do. The thing you had to be careful about though is not make sure you had enough alcohol in the house. Because if the imbalance, if you ran out of coke first, you still had alcohol, everything's fine. But if you run out of alcohol first, and you still have coke left, a regular person would go, okay, party's over, we can't do anything more. But no, you're not gonna. You're gonna go that until your heart explodes if you don't have any alcohol. And one night I ran out of alcohol. And at the time, my solution, I thought, man, I'm like a Marine. I'm like adapt, adjust, modify. I'm incredible. I'm amazing. Here was my solution. NyQuil on the rocks. It's 25% alcohol. Plus it's this sneezing, sniffling, so you can get some rest medicine. I needed that. So if I would have had a blender, I would have had NyQuil smoothies, I swear to God. And I drank it like this with a pinky out. I'm like, oh yeah, very smart. And it wasn't until I got sober that I looked back on that I realized, Jesus, how sick that was. How incredibly sick that whole scenario is. And I was living in Dallas, Texas at the time. I was working at a radio station. I was the youngest manager of a top 10 radio station, a top 10 market. Pretty big deal. Had a sports car, condo, and a hip part of town. I was hot stuff. I was nuts. Come on. I was something. And then I was buying cocaine on top of it. You know, every Friday afternoon, I would leave toward the end there, and we're getting to the end because we're short out of time, and I wanted to hurry up. I didn't want to come up here and go, hey, I drank a lot and lost everything. Ta-da! So anyway, but I did. And so I left toward the end there, I left my big shot job, my big shot car, and went to my big shot dealer's house and got an ounce of cocaine every Friday. But I had a plan. Here's my plan. My plan was that I go home and step on it a little bit, and then break it up into those little gram things and sell it to my friends, just my friends, because I am not a drug dealer. And then I would have the free stuff for myself and my girlfriend, and would have a great weekend. That was my plan on Friday. My plan on Sunday was, next week I am sticking to the plan, because I never, ever stayed in-house. And then I would have the audacity to go into work Monday morning and have my meeting with the staff on Monday morning. I don't know why I made it on Monday morning. I could have made it Tuesday. No, I kept it on Monday morning. And I would walk in, and there was all my staff around the conference table in the conference room there. And they looked like they had a nice weekend and woke up and, took the kids to school, had a good breakfast, maybe a jog, came in early, get some work done. They look clean and refreshed. And there I was, all gray and sweaty, like, okay, come on, here we go. And they were just all looking at me like, don't you know? Don't you know? And I didn't know. But I found out, because I got fired. And for the first time in my life, the money fairy went away. And then after 3 months, see, I just thought this was just going to be a bump in the road. This is just a bump in the road. But 3 months later, the big shot condo was foreclosed, and the bank was looking for their car, but now they couldn't find it because I don't live there anymore. Ha! And I started living on people's couches, friends' couches, maybe staying in the garage. Every once in a while, sleep in the car. Now, a regular person would go, "Hey, let's figure out what happened here. Drugs and alcohol and all that kind of, that got you in trouble, got you fired. Fix that. Get your life back together and get on with your life." Normal, regular person would say that. Not me. Again, I just thought it was a string of bad luck. That was it, really. So a regular person would have done that within 3 months. So I remained, I don't like to say homeless because I had a car. But I didn't have a home, so I guess technically I was homeless. Normal person, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months maybe, tops, before you get your act together. A year for the really, really slow ones. Year and a half. Year and a half of not having a place to live, living in my car and showering at the YMCA, thinking it was still a string of bad luck. Now, I had quit cocaine a long time ago because I ran out of money. That's a program that works right there. You can't get it anymore. And I downgraded to beer. And I had to have my beer. And I would pick up little nonsense jobs here and there just to get enough beer money because I had to have beer. And I had a moment of clarity. You'll hear about a moment of clarity in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I had one, and I remember where I was and what happened. I was in front of the McDonald's on Skillman and LBJ in Dallas, Texas. And here's the thought I had. The thought I had was, if I go into McDonald's and get a regular hamburger and no fries and some water, I'll have enough left over for a 12-pack. My whole life had come down to that one sentence. That one, all my relationships, everything had come down to that one sentence. If I go in there and get a regular hamburger, no fries, and some water, I'll have enough left over for a 12-pack. And it was until then that I knew there was something wrong with me. That wasn't a string of bad luck. Now, I didn't know what to do with this, but I had it. And a few days later, I decided to call Alcoholics Anonymous. I knew nothing about Alcoholics Anonymous. Nothing. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know it existed, but I didn't know why or how or who ran it. I didn't know it. Nothing. But something told me to look them up in the phone book. We had a phone book back then. Kids were like, "Why didn't you Google it?" Anyway, because we didn't have Google. So I got it, and they were in the white pages, not the. I spent 4 hours in the yellow pages looking for them, and it's not a business. Try the white pages. There it is. Anyway, so I called Alcoholics Anonymous, and an elderly woman answered the phone. Older woman, elderly. She was, I'm going to call her elderly. She was an elderly woman. Answered the phone. And I said, "Hi." "Yes, hello. Good afternoon. Hi. This is Chuck Kaysen, and I am calling about some information about your Alcoholics Anonymous program." And she said, "Oh, honey." And then she said, and then here's what she told me. She told me what it was like for her, and what happened, and what it's like now. And there I was on the phone with an elderly woman nodding my head on the phone, identifying with what she was telling me. And she made one suggestion that I go to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. I said, okay. I was willing to do anything. 6 o'clock, gave me the address. I pulled up at 6 o'clock, because if you go in early, you might have to talk to some of you people. Didn't want that. If you go in late, it might be one of those rooms where if you open the door, everybody turns around to look at you. I don't want that. So it was like 6 on the money, man. I walked in. Apparently, newcomers have a look, because I walked in, and the first lady that saw me went, "Hey, first day?" It's like, "Yeah, first day." She goes, "Come on in." She brought me in a room, a small room. It's a small meeting, about 12 or 13 people. And they opened the meeting by offering a little chip. They call it a desire chip. Anybody want to have a desire to stop drinking for one 24-hour period, I'd like to offer you this chip. And I took it. Oh, man, what a mistake. In that meeting, everybody talked to me. right to me. I couldn't get up. I couldn't leave. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I just had to go, okay, all right. I heard everything that I wasn't. I heard jails. I heard DUI. I heard prison. I heard fights. I heard divorce. I heard everything that I wasn't. And after the meeting, everyone stood up and held hands and then said the Lord's Prayer. And I swear everything was, I was like, I actually had the heebie-jeebies. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. And then they did this little chant at the end. Then two guys come walking up to me and start talking about how we are different. Three of us. We are different. We process alcohol differently or something. And I'm thinking, you know what? We are not different. You are different. And I am out of here. I want it out bad. And I started heading for the door, and then that guy got me. You know the guy that loves newcomers, that guy. He got me. And he started talking up AA like big book, step. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, I just want to get to the car. That's all I wanted. I'd take a step, he'd take a step. I'd take a step, he'd take a step. I'm like, man, I finally get to the car, and he said two things that saved my life. What? Two things that saved my life. First thing he said was, if you have to make a decision about what you just saw in there, decide not to decide. Now, I must have been so messed up in the head, I didn't have to unpack that at all. Decide not to decide. What? I just knew what he meant. Like, okay, don't make a decision. All right. The second thing he said was, when we come in, we go to 90 meetings in 90 days. I was like, 90 meetings? Do you go every day? He goes, do you drink every day? I was like, none of your business. What happened next? I have a theory about why. I don't really remember why. I don't know why. Of course, I've thought about it. But here's what happened next. I didn't drink that night. And the next day, I went back to the Alcoholics Anonymous place. I don't know why. And my theories are, it's because they invited me back. It's the first time anybody's invited me back in about a year and a half. That's one theory. The other theory is there was something there that I'd never seen or experienced before. Above all the things that I didn't identify with, there was something there that was different than anything I'd ever seen. Whatever it is, I went back. And I went back again, and I went back again, and I got a sponsor, and I started working these steps, and something very unusual happened. My life started to get better. Now, when I first quit drinking, though, when I got a sponsor, I called him up and I said, look, I've quit drinking and it has freed up a great deal of time. Because that's all I did. What do I do? He goes, well, you go to a meeting. I said, yeah, I'm going to the meeting. He goes, you going to the 6? I said, yeah. He goes, you stay for the 8? I said, yes, I stay for the 8. Then what do I do? He goes, well, after the 8, a lot of guys go down to Taffy's coffee shop and they have coffee. And I was like, oh, well, I can hardly freaking contain myself. Really? But I did. I did go down to Taffy's coffee shop and start hanging out with the guys. And that's when my love affair with the alcoholic really first started, because that's when I started hanging around with people that were serious about recovery and serious about recovering from this disease. And I started making lifelong friends. I haven't had a drink since the first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, by the way. I want to tell you that. Nothing against treatment centers. I'm not saying anything like that, because after you finish treatment, you know what they're going to tell you? Go to Alcoholics Anonymous. Here's the thing. The reason I tell you that I've been sober since the very first desired chip I took is to let you know that Alcoholics Anonymous works. That day was June 3rd, 1985. And I haven't had a drink since. And it works. And I'm not surprised. I'm surprised at 30 days. But I'm not surprised. I remember when I first came in, I saw a girl get a 90-day chip one night. 3 months. She was like a guru to me. And after the meeting, I went running up to her and said, hey, congratulations. How'd you do that? And she went, yeah, thanks, and turned around and walked off because she had 90 days and didn't know how to have a relationship with another human being. At any rate, the point is, I thought she was godlike. And the reason I tell you that is because it doesn't matter how long you've been sober, you can help somebody else. Because when I first came in, I saw somebody get 30 days. I wanted to know how they did it. I heard somebody had 29 years. I was like, he didn't drink like me. I'm not going to listen to that. Whatever. I don't care what he has to say. Doesn't matter. You know, I can't identify with that. And I don't expect a newcomer to identify with 29 years. That's a lot. That's a lot to identify with. You know, but if you have 10 days, you can help somebody with 1 day. If you have 30 days, you can help somebody with 1 day. Now, I wasn't really, oh, shoot, 5 minutes. I got to do 29 years in 5 minutes. Here we go. Alcoholics Anonymous by the way, I'll finish that thought. I wasn't really excited about one of the promises that they told me. They said, you know, you're going to be able to help people. So, I didn't come here to help people. I came here me. You're supposed to help me. And I didn't get the benefit. I didn't get it for a long time, to be honest. But once I got it, I got it. And that's where happiness and joy and all that comes from, is helping others. And in 29 years, I work the program. This is kind of a confession. I work the program sort of like the way I go to the gym. I get sick and tired of my fat, flabby body. And I go, that's it. That's it. I go back to the gym and I start working out again, and it's hard and it's painful and it's sweaty and your muscles are sore, and it's so counterintuitive because it hurts. And when something hurts your body says, don't do that again, but you got to do it more so you can do more, and all. It's a process. And then I start losing weight. Then my old skinny jeans fit again. Then I got a girlfriend. Safe. Why go back to the gym? My jeans fit. I got a girlfriend. Why go through that pain again? But slowly and surely, I start gaining the weight again. My jeans don't fit anymore. Girlfriend leaves me, probably because I'm fat. And I have to get right back to it again. And that's kind of the way I've been able to work the program. I get sick and tired of being sick and tired, of being lonely and listening to my head and all the things that happen when I don't actively work the steps, like with the passion of a dying man. And I go, okay, that's it. And I call my sponsor, and we get after it again. And it hurts, and it's painful, and it hurts my muscles. But pretty soon, I'm fitting in my skinny jeans again in my head. And that's important. And that's a good deal. And then, safe. I go help a few people. But then I sit on my laurels. And it's a pattern. I wish I could work the steps with the passion of a dying man all the time. What would I be like? I'd be like one of those, like Arnold Schwarzenegger muscle guy in AA. I'd be that guy, you know, because there are some people that get addicted to working out. Anyway, I don't identify with them at all. And I've gotten weird about the things that I think I've missed. Like, I was having lunch. This is an actual conversation with a friend of mine at lunch. I was having lunch, and I said, you know what? I've missed some things in sobriety. He goes, what have you missed? I said, well, when I first got sober, everybody was drinking wine coolers. I never had a wine cooler. He goes, dude, you did not miss anything. I was like, yeah, oh yeah. I never had a Zima. What was that? What was Zima? He goes, you did not miss anything. I said, well, I've never taken ecstasy. He goes, oh, well, you missed ecstasy. You missed that. That's the thing. There's always going to be something. They're working right now on new designer something that has Viagra in it and all that. They want me back. There are billboards with beautiful women standing next to liquor that says, if you buy this, I'll have sex even with you. They're working to get me back. They want me back in a bad way. I was driving down Ventura Boulevard. A real billboard. It was one of those beautiful picture billboards. It was a gorgeous picture of this martini glass with a dew coming down on it. It was beautiful. And it had a beautiful pink liquid in it and a thing and all that. And here's the byline. Here was the sell line. Because you've been sober all day. Yeah, and I was like, I feel you. You're talking to me. They want me back. But here's the thing. This is the weird thing. A lot of people think that this is prison. This is prison. I can't go do all that fun stuff. This is prison. And that's the weird thing about this disease. It's just the opposite. This is freedom. Wondering if the lights behind you are a cop. That's prison. Not having any place to go to the bathroom and going ahead and going in your front yard because you're too drunk. That's prison. One guy laughs. Okay, great. That's the thing. That's the thing about us, though. I mean, we tell a story like that, and we think that's hysterical. Church people are like, but we're like, that happened to me too. Anyway, so all that stuff, owing your drug dealer, throwing up, saying weird stuff, waking up and going, what did I say? All that's prison. This is freedom.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think.
This is happy, joyous, and free right here. God, it's almost time. Here, all right. God, man. All right. What do you think? 2? 3. Very generous. Thank you. I'll end with an analogy then too, because I love analogies. They explain to me complicated things, make them simple. And this is about letting go and letting God. I told you I lived in Dallas, and in Dallas they have the State Fair of Texas, and they also have Six Flags over Texas. Now, the State Fair of Texas opens up at the end of September, but Six Flags is still open. But on the opening day of the State Fair, everybody goes to the State Fair, and nobody goes to Six Flags. And a girl from AA called me, and she goes, you want to go to Six Flags when everybody else goes to the State Fair? What I didn't tell her was that I have a horrible fear of roller coasters. Horrible. I mean, horrible. But it was a girl, so I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So sure enough, we go, and sure enough, parking lot is near empty. No line to get in. We walked in, turned the corner, and there it is. Texas Giant, the world's largest wooden roller coaster. She goes, come on, let's go. And I was like, no, let's go to a small place. She goes, no, come on. And she thought I was going to have a heart attack in line. It was a very short line, and my face was red, and my heart was beating. I was terrified, but I was going to do it. And they put you in that car, and they lock you down, and then click, 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 up this hill, and the sounds of the park leave, and all you can hear is wind. It's terrifying. And then you get to the top, you can't see over the top, and then wham, and boom, and bam, and over, and nothing. This is going to hit me. Oh, my God, it's horrible. Then it's over. You're like, And she was like, that was fun. I was like, yeah, that was all right. And they let you out. And so it turns out that riding a roller coaster for the first time is a lot like having sex for the first time. It's really scary at first, but then afterwards you're like, hey, let's do that again. So decided, all right, let's do it again. So we got in line, did it again, and we did it again, and we did it again. Now, I had driven by Six Flags a bunch of times. I had always seen people riding roller coasters with their hands up, which is even worse to me. They were like, hey, Chuck, you're a weenie. You know, that's what they were saying, really, to me. But on the 6th or 7th run on the Texas Giant, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna ride the whole ride like this. And I rode the whole ride like that. And when it was over, I got out and I said, man, it is a better ride when you let go. She says, really? Because before I was holding on under the illusion that I had some kind of control over where the roller coaster was going to go. And my muscles were tight and I was getting banged up and bruised. But when I let go, the roller coaster still did the same unexpected ups and downs and dips and all that. But I didn't get beat up. I just enjoyed the ride. And that's what I want to leave you with hope. You can enjoy the ride if you stay here. Thanks. Woo. Man. This is going to be the first CD I listen to because I have no idea what I just said. That was probably so disjointed. So questions? Yes, sir. Well, my turning point, like they say in How It Works, which was read with such passive aggressive passion tonight. Yes, that was. Where is she? Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Love you. There she is. Oh, she wasn't listening. Good. Okay, good. He asked about the turning point. What was my turning point? I have a turning point. I do have a turning point. And I remember really specifically. I had 3 months sober, 90 days, and I got a job and an apartment and a telephone. And I was, oh, okay, here we go. Things are getting good again. This is great. And I'm in the shower, taking a shower, and up in my head pops my attorney that represents my alcoholism. He's very good. He's very, very good. And there was a function that night, a radio function, a cocktail party that night. And somehow my attorney knew about it. I don't know. Anyway, he says, Chuck, tell me again why you think you're an alcoholic? I was like, oh, man, you remember all the homeless? Remember all that? He goes, yeah. But you haven't had a drink in 3 months. Alcoholics drink, stupid. I'm like, you have a point. He goes, do you want to be that guy tonight? Do you want to be that guy at the cocktail party that everybody that you work with goes, why isn't Chuck drinking? Do you want to be that guy? I was like, no. And right then I decided I was going to have a couple of drinks that night. I got my life back on track. Everything's good. I'm going to have a couple of drinks. It's about 5 to 7. I get out of the shower. I got a towel around me. This 29 years ago. I was a young kid, very skinny, just in case you're getting a visual that you don't want right now. Anyway, so he's a good-looking kid. He's 29. Come on. All right. So I got a towel around me. I'm dripping wet, but my phone is ringing. My phone is ringing at 5 to 7 in the morning. And I pick up the phone, and on the other end of the phone is a guy named David. Now, David, we had a 24/7 AA club. We had paid rent for it. It was ours all the time. We had all of our meetings there. Never had to set up, break down, all that kind of. It was ours. Paid rent. And David was in and out of AA, in and out of state institutions, not prisons, but hospitals. He was on medication. He spoke real slow. Sometimes he would sleep up there. Nobody said anything. He was harmless. But it was him on the phone at 5 till 7 in the morning. And I was like, yeah, hello. He goes, yeah, hi, Chuck. Yeah, hi. This is David from up at the A. Yeah, David, yeah, what do you want? Yeah. He goes, yeah, I just called to tell you that you're an alcoholic and you can't have a drink today. Okay, thanks a lot, David. Now, it could be that he was just up at the club going through the Rolodex calling everybody saying, hey, just call to tell you you're an alcoholic. And I'm the only one that went, oh my God, it's a miracle. Maybe, I don't know. It's quite possible. But the fact of the matter is that whatever that was my turning point. Because I didn't have a drink that day. That's pretty important. But I thought I was going to. Yes, sir. Correct me if I don't say your question back properly. He said he had a cocaine history as well. That's odd. You don't find that often. And that how do I and yet I'm an Alcoholics Anonymous, and how do I reconcile the Alcoholic Anonymous thing to someone who has cocaine maybe only problem or thinks he has a cocaine only problem, and that and the way I do it, and it's just my opinion, of course, is that alcoholic. The word alcoholic is a big umbrella, and it covers a lot of things. In my mind, it covers everything from alcohol to cocaine to eating to sex to candy to video games to anything that keeps me from the sunlight of the Spirit. And a lot of people do get tripped up on the word alcoholic, and some, I wish that wasn't true, and I wish there was. The people that kept Alcoholics Anonymous very pure about alcohol really did a good thing in the long run, because now there is CA and MA and anything A. The 12 steps have saved a lot of people from a lot of pain. That's how I do it. It's a big umbrella. And if anybody is hung up on that, says, well, my problem is cocaine and non-alcohol, I say, okay, you win. Go to CA. We work the same steps here. But you're welcome, and to go anywhere. And the thing is, it all washes out in the end. If we can, whatever it takes to keep people here for recovery to happen, they'll come around. Whatever it takes. And I've been around long enough to see a lot of old people come in, a lot of young people come in. Am I done? Okay. When young people come in, they go, man, what am I missing? What am I missing out there? I feel like I'm missing, especially now with Facebook. Everybody posts their pictures, woohoo, hey, party, you know, I'm missing that. They don't show the pictures 6 hours later of them stuck to their own vomit in the bathroom. They don't show that one. But when young people come in, they go, man, look what I've missed. But when old people come in, they look around AA for a while and they go, look what I missed. This is the real deal here. This is the real deal. It covers everybody. And I think that's it. Right? Good. Thanks.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.